Sir of AHNLA. And also with us we have Molly Colucci. She's the Executive Vice President of Public Policy. And Kathleen Potter, who is the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications. I'll give you a brief overview of AHNLA, and then Marlene and Catherine will talk to you about their programs. Last 97 years. We'll be celebrating our 100-year anniversary in 2010. Our members are hotel companies, faculty, students, and industry suppliers. We provide our members with a national advocacy on Capitol Hill, public relations, image management, education, research, information, and various value-added programs that provide bottom-line savings. Our partner state associations provide local representation and additional cost-saving services to our members. Looking at our industry at the beginning, there were about 10,000 hotels with average room size of 60 to 75 rooms, 300,000 employees, and average room rate of $5.60. The landscape of the lodging industry has changed quite a lot since then. Today we are looking at about 4.4 million guest rooms, which represents over 47,000 properties and $122 billion in sales, an average room rate of $90.88. Now, I can guarantee you that today you won't be able to find any hotel rooms in Washington, D.C. at this rate. Occupancy rate is 63.1% and 1.8 million employees. And the photo over there is our leader, Joe McInerney, President and CEO. AHNLA is a dual membership organization. AHNLA partner state associations represent 42 of state hotel and lodging associations of the United States. Lodging properties first join our partner state association in their state, then automatically become member of AHNLA. We also have 9 direct states where members may join AHNLA directly. Our board consists of 83 voting members, and there are also several organizations that are non-voting members but important advisors to the AHNLA board. And our vision statement is
our legislative advocacy. Legislative Action Summit. This is from our last year's summit, or this year's summit. What we do is, like I said, once a year we get a couple hundred people coming in that are hoteliers just like you. We meet in Washington, D.C., and you can't really see the pictures too well, but basically we have members of Congress that come and speak to the group. We have meetings that we host on Capitol Hill with individual members of Congress where we can talk about the 3 issues that we care about. We also host events that create awareness. So we bring people to the White House. We have them go through a series of briefings, much like you are today.
Communications for the American Hotel and Lodging Association, and in that role we have 2 primary goals. One is that we serve as the voice of the industry, and this is primarily to members of the media. We receive dozens of phone calls a week asking us to make comments on various stories that are going to appear on in the press. It may be I think recent calls that we've gotten. One is to try to put a dollar value on the percentage or the number of items that are stolen from a hotel room. So so we were trying to help them with that. Other topics can be new technology that's coming out. That's a very hot topic for reporters to write about. What are new things that guests are going to see in hotel rooms? And we have a lot of those that are coming out. Our industry is always on the cutting edge of trying to offer new amenities to guests. So that's a very big part of what we do, and our President CEO does act as our spokesperson for that. He's very knowledgeable. We're fortunate to have him. Our other role is that we provide marketing for our members. Part of this is branding the association, and this is without the materials that you see, for instance, the annual report, making sure that all of our materials are top-notch and positive reflection on our association. Another part of that is that we also provide marketing to our partner state associations. As Jerry mentioned, we have a smaller version of us in each of our states, and so we help them with their membership marketing materials to their members, helping them design them, write them, photos, things like that. Along those lines, so specific things that we do as far as in our department is that we produce several publications. One you see is Lodging Magazine. This actually isn't one that we produce. We have better fees on benefits and services than you would as a single hotelier. So you'll see, I'll scroll through these, but one thing is we do provide an information center where you can call and they'll research on any topic that you have a question about. Say you want to incorporate an environmental program in your hotel, they will provide you information on steps of how you can do that. Or again, if you had questions on, is it legal to allow residential minors to stay in your hotel, anything along those lines. If you have a question, our information center 99% of the time can answer it for you. We also have prescription drug discounts, discounts with health insurance agencies like Aetna, which is one of the larger ones. Staples, which provides office supplies. We have a career center where if you're looking for an employee, you can get a discount on accessing this career center for a whole pool of potential employees. And similar to our cooperative, we also give you discounted advertising through USA Today. Another, I'm sorry, I didn't create this. We're continuing a chain of these discounts, but another is with ASCAP and BMI. We've also added SBSC. It's also a music licensing company. For you to play music in hotels, you have to pay the artist to play their music, and so these three companies are the largest and cover most of the artist rights. Again, FTD, which is florist, and shipping. Again, we'll just hit sort of some of the highlights of these. And we also provide a directory of all of our members that we provide to our allied members so that you can do mailings and find out who the top people, as far as the CEOs or the CFOs, if you wanted to do a mailing or contact them, we have a whole directory of our membership. You can see what's on the horizon, what membership is looking to provide our members in the future. This comes from our partner state associations as well as from hoteliers who are looking for assistance. The final area for me to cover is conventions and events. Networking is a huge part of what we offer our members and something that is a huge pull for people to join the association. The way that we position it is that your Rolodex can go from 50 to 100,000 because we really get the industry mover and shakers in our events, and so you really have an opportunity to broaden your database of people that you know. So we host about a dozen events, but you'll see that these are the top three, they're the top most popular. Marlene has touched on the middle one, which is our Legislative Action Summit. We also have an investment conference at the beginning of the year, which is very popular. Our Summer Summit is coming up in June. A final one of note is one that we host in November in New York, and it attracts around 65,000 hoteliers. It's a huge show. Really an event where you find out the latest trends and the latest products on the industry. Does anyone have any questions about any of the three areas? Well, with that, I will turn it back over to Joe.
Okay, I would like to talk to you about our affiliate.
And what are your sources of funding? Probably membership dues, right?
Our membership dues
Да,
make
наши
up about
членские взносы составляют
70% of our total
70% нашего
revenue.
бюджета.
Then we have
И у
non-dues
нас
revenue
также
source
имеются и другие
coming
источники
from
финансовой
conventions,
поддержки, которые мы
meetings,
получаем
royalties,
проведением конференций
and
или
investment
ставкой
income.
роялти, а также делаем инвестиции.
That is for the
Это
association.
в том, что
And we have
касается
two other
ассоциаций.
entities
У нас
which I would like
есть
to cover,
еще
and
две
their
другие
primary source of
организации,
funding
которые
is
я
the
пишу.
sales
И они в
revenue,
основном полагаются на продажи,
contributions from our members in the
на
industry.
пожертвования со стороны наших членов.
А общее количество работающих ассоциаций?
And how large is your staff here in the association in Washington?
Okay, we have three locations.
У нас, в
The
принципе, три
headquarters here
точки.
in
Штаб-квартира
Washington,
находится
D.C.
здесь, в Вашингтоне.
We have about
У
35
нас
staff members here.
35
And then
сотрудников
we have
работает здесь.
about 32
Примерно
employees
32
in Lansing, Michigan
сотрудника в
for
городе
Educational
Лэнсинг, штат
Institute,
Мичиган.
and about 40
И примерно
employees in
40
Orlando,
сотрудников в
Florida.
Орландо, штат Флорида.
We also have a small
У нас
sales
также
office in
имеется
India
небольшой
with
отдел
3
продаж
staff
в Индии.
members.
Там 3 человека работает.
Всего 100 человек.
Altogether 100 people.
Yes.
Правильно.
А вот помещение, мы видели вывеску на этом здании. Вы, видимо, частью этого здания занимаетесь, да?
And the space, we saw a sign in front of the building. I understand that you're part owner of this particular property.
No, we rent the
Нет,
space.
мы арендуем это место, снимаем его в наем.
What happened is we used to rent this a whole
Раньше
sixth
мы
floor
все 6 этажей
until
брали в наем.
2001.
До 2001
We used to have about 70
у нас
employees here,
70 сотрудников
but
здесь.
then 9/11
Шестой этаж,
happened and we
извините,
had
шестой этаж
new
только.
leadership. So
Only
we went,
6th floor, or all 6
Only
floors.
sixth floor.
Только шестой этаж, правильно.
and then we went through the
И после этого у нас
restructuring,
произошла
and we consolidated a lot
реструктуризация,
of
и мы
programs
консолидировали
across our
несколько программ.
entities. So we reduced the staff
И
size, and naturally we reduced
утрясли
the space
количество
that we
персонала,
need
и,
for our
конечно
staff
же,
members.
для
So we
них
carve out a
требуется
good portion
меньшее
of our
пространство.
space, and we
Поэтому
sublease
мы
that space to
даем
two
под,
subtenants.
мы нанимаем под квартиросъемщиков, то, что называется, и
But
сдаем
we do own the building in
в
Lansing,
наем
Michigan.
нашу часть. Но
Real estate is
здание в
still
Лэнсинге,
relatively
штат
cheap
Мичиган, нам
in Michigan,
принадлежит.
but we won't be able to afford to buy anything in Washington,
Но в
D.C.
Вашингтоне мы не сможем ничего купить в свое владение.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Можно я спрошу? Я хотела узнать, вы определяете специальные требования к желающим вступить в вашу ассоциацию? Отсеиваете ли какие-то, может быть, мелкие компании? Или все желающие могут вступить? И какой размер членских взносов? И как часто это, видимо, годовой взнос? Как часто они платят взнос?
Do you have particular requirements to your prospective members? For example, do you say that, no, you're too small, you can't join us? And my second question is, how large are your membership dues for one member per year?
Okay. The first question, as a not-for-profit trade
Как
association, we
некоммерческая,
cannot make it
торговая или
exclusive membership.
отраслевая
We do have to accept
ассоциация, мы не
everybody
имеем права никому
and
отказывать.
allow
Мы
them to
должны
join
принимать
into our
всех
membership regardless of
и
their property
разрешать им
size.
присоединяться
The only
вне зависимости от
requirement
их
we have
размера.
is
Единственное
that
требование,
if
которое
we
мы
have a
выставляем,
partner state association
на местах существует
presence in
партнерская
that state,
аналогичная
they have to
ассоциация,
come to
то
us through
они
the partner state
должны
association.
присоединиться к нам через
And
эту
as I have
партнерскую
mentioned
ассоциацию.
before,
Как я уже
we are
упомянула,
dual membership. So
You're
when they
what?
become dual membership.
мы двойное, у нас двойное
So when they
членство.
become member
И
of our
когда
partner
они
state
становятся
association, they
членами нашей
automatically
партнерской
become
ассоциации,
member of
они
AHLA.
автоматически становятся
We
и
have
нашими
9
членами.
direct states where there's no
нас 9
partnership agreement
штатов, где у нас
that we
нет
have in this
соглашений
state,
партнерских
then
с
properties may
партнерскими
come to us
ассоциациями. И
directly.
они могут присоединиться к
For
нам
the second
напрямую, не
part,
через
the
партнерские
dues revenue, it
ассоциации.
depends on your the hotel
Теперь
size,
поступление зависит от
and whether you have food and beverage on your property. We charge per room for property members. But then for students and faculties and industry suppliers, it's fixed amount per year.
Членство для поставщиков и для того, что мы называем студентов отрасли. Для них это фиксированная сумма.
Ну, насколько большая?
And how large is it? What's the amount, roughly, of the membership dues? And
The average is
average-
about $3.60 per room. Now, that is for national dues.
60 центов за комнату.
And each
Это
state has their
национально.
own
И у
dues
каждого
fee
штата есть
structure
свои
that varies
собственные
from, I don't know,
дополнительные
$5
платы
to $10
от
per
5 до
room.
$10
Ну,
долларов.
это
So when you
за
add it all
год,
together,
And this is
it
per
will-
year.
Yes, per year.
Это за
Yes.
год.
Like mass is like 16.
Oh, is it? Isn't it including both HMLA and?
Yes.
Yes. So you will range from about
То есть
$10
от
to
10
$16,
до
$17 when you combine
16-17
state and
долларов,
national
когда вы
dues.
совмещаете все членские взносы и на уровне штата, и на национальном уровне или нашей ассоциации.
А еще вопрос, государство как поддерживает материально, может быть, где-то
Do you
материальную
receive
поддержку?
any assistance from the government?
No, we really don't receive any kind of assistance to run
Мы
the
не
association.
получаем
But what
никаких
we do try to do
субвенций,
is we
но что
get
мы пытаемся
we work
получить
with
от
government to
правительства.
provide grants, let's
Мы
say, for
работаем с людьми для того,
educational
чтобы они
institutes.
предоставляли нам
So, for
гранты
example,
для,
we're
скажем,
trying to, we're working right
просветительной
now with
программы.
Department
Вот
of Labor
сейчас мы
to
работаем
reach out to the
с
Hispanic
Министерством
population
труда для
and people
того,
that are
чтобы они
entry
протянули
level
руку
that want to bring us.
испаноговорящему
So we partner with
населению.
them
Мы
to provide grant money
партнерские
to our
отношения для того,
educational
чтобы они
institutes to train
предоставляли
people.
специальные гранты для
We'll do the
подготовки
same thing that we're working on right now with
людей. Мы то же
Department of Labor
самое,
with
в принципе,
military,
делаем в
military
отношении
military
военных
spouses.
сил
Once people
и
leave the
жен
military, we want to get
военнослужащих,
them into a
потому что
private
после
sector
того,
job.
как
And
военнослужащие
there's a lot
покидают
of
службу,
relevance
уходят в
between
отставку,
being
им
trained
нужно
in the military and going
предоставлять
into the hotel
специальную
industry,
подготовку. И
because
есть
people have a lot of
определенная
management skills that we
специфика,
can take
потому что люди,
advantage of.
которые
And because the
достигают
military
определенного
moves a
ранга
lot,
в
the
вооруженных
other thing we
силах,
try to do is employ their
уже
spouses, because the
обладают
families move
каким-то
with them, and hotels are
набором
located all
деловых
across the United
навыков
States, so
и
it's a good
уже
industry.
попутешествовал
So in those
в
areas
своей
where we
жизни.
try to
А
provide
гостиницы как раз
money, it's
находятся
usually in the
в
form of
разных
grants
местах с
having to do
разной
with
спецификой.
educating new
И мы
workers.
предлагаем специальные гранты для образования вот таких конкретных групп населения.
Не могли бы рассказать о деятельности не только в Америке, да, а в Европе и в России в частности?
Do you have,
Организации, да.
are you active not only in the United States but also in Europe and maybe in Russia in particular?
We do have some international
У
members,
нас есть
but
международные члены,
mainly in
но в основном
Canada
они живут
and
в Канаде,
Caribbean.
в Карибском
I
бассейне.
believe we are trying to form
пытаемся
international global
сформировать
council to
международный
address
глобальный
the
совет
issues
для
at the
того, чтобы
international
решать
level.
проблемы
But
на
there are
международном
other
уровне.
organizations
Но
that
существуют и
we are
другие
affiliated
организации, с
with.
которыми у
But
нас
at this
имеются
point, we don't
партнерские
have any
отношения.
specific
Однако
direct
сейчас у нас
involvement at the
нет
international level.
полного участия на международном уровне.
Нет, я почему спрашиваю? Потому что у нас есть уже 2 издания профессиональных, которые выходят под этим же брендом, значком.
Под их брендом.
Да.
I'm asking because we already have 2 official publications that are published under your logo.
Oh, it's probably through Educational Institute.
Наверное, это через Институт по вопросам образования они печатаются.
Through our license
Потому что
agreement.
у нас есть соглашение по лицензированию их.
Понятно. А не могли бы тогда поподробнее рассказать об их образовательных программах, их содержании, на кого они ориентированы?
And could you tell us more about your educational institutes and the programs that it offers and whom do they target?
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Хорошо, прямо сейчас этим займусь.
That's what this slide is all
Вот, в
about.
принципе, этому посвящен следующий слайд.
Our affiliate,
У нас
Education of
партнерские
American
отношения
Hotel and Lodging
между
Educational
организацией
Foundation
АХЛА.
has 2 divisions. One
У
is
нас
the
имеется
foundation,
два
located
отдела.
here in this office.
Фонд, который
And then
находится
we have
здесь,
an educational
в
institute
Вашингтоне, и у нас
located in
есть образовательный
Lansing,
институт,
Michigan,
который находится
Orlando,
в
Florida,
Лэнсинге,
and
Мичиган,
India.
и в Индии, и в
The
Орландо,
foundation is
штат
the
Флорида.
fundraising
Фонд является
organization of
организацией по сбору
AHLA
средств.
and primary
И
financial support for
основной
scholarships
источник
and
финансовой
research
поддержки с точки
programs.
зрения
And
стипендий
Educational
и так далее.
Institute provides industry with
Институт по вопросам
training and educational
образования
programs.
предоставляет программы по профессиональной подготовке.
Now, Educational Institute provides
Институт по
training,
вопросам
specialized
образования
training,
предоставляет
DVDs,
специализированную
videos,
специализированную подготовку,
distance learning,
DVD, видео, дистанционное
certification
обучение,
programs,
программы сертификации,
seminars,
семинары
textbooks, and many more. If you're a member of AHNLA, you will automatically get 20% discount on most of our products. We have unlimited training library, which is a library of comprehensive EI's products that our members can use on a yearly subscription fee basis. However, we do not offer this overseas, so I won't get into that. Course Line is an interactive and relatively inexpensive way of taking EI's courses online. So you can take our course lines at convenience of your home as long as you have an internet connection. I believe we offered 7 areas of specialization, and you can get the management certificate through our course lines. LMP, Lodging Management Program, is a basically high school curriculum for the lodging hospitality industry. Currently we have 600 high schools participating in this program. It is geared towards the 11th and 12th graders in high school, and we provide classroom learning and real-life work experience for them to be prepared to have a career in the lodging industry. I have some EI's catalogs here. But first, this large magazine in front of you, you can take this with you. And the annual report, I have only 2 copies, so you may take this with you, but you decide who will be the lucky 2. And then also I have EI's catalogs here. Also I have only 2 sets.
Каталоги по программам, как я уже упомянула.
And this is for you to keep as well.
Это для вас, и их у меня тоже
In this
всего
folder, you will
2.
find 3 catalogs.
И
We
здесь
have
вы
a
увидите
product
в этой папке
catalog,
3 каталога.
distance
Каталог с
learning,
продуктами,
and also
дистанционное обучение.
academic catalog.
И
This academic catalog, I believe, outside of the U.S. and Canada,
Вне США и
our programs are available to only institutions that have a signed license agreement with the Educational Institute. And I believe we have signed a license agreement in Russia and Ukraine.
Мы подписали такие соглашения
We have
в
about
России и на
120
Украине. У нас
licensees in about
120
45 countries.
лицензиатов имеется в 45 странах.
Then for our certification programs, we offer 35 certification programs ranging from line level to the most prestige designation, which is a certified hotel administrator.
Сертифицированный администратор гостиницы.
That's pretty much it
Ну, в
in a
принципе, это все.
nutshell.
Попросить назвать, какие институты у них в России, которые подписали с ними лицензию. If you have a list of the institutions of higher learning in Russia or Ukraine that signed a licensing agreement with you, could you give it to us?
The names?
The names, the list of them.
Sure. Actually, there are 2.
У нас 2 таких.
And one in Russia, one in Ukraine. I can get you those names, but also you can get into our website and click EI Education Institute. And then there's the list of all the licensees, all 140 of them if you want to see them, sorted by country.
Рассортированные по странам.
А кто преподает в институтах? Привлекают они или свой персонал обучают?
Who does the actual teaching at those institutions? Do you find people that are local, or do you bring your own?
You have to have those instructors in those regions, and they have to go through the they have to go through the certification program to make sure that they have enough adequate knowledge and experience.
Знания и опыт, потом они преподают.
Я имела в виду здесь, вот в Вашингтоне, если обучаются, кто преподает, члены их ассоциации или
And what about in Washington? Do your association employee teach, or maybe professors at various institutions?
We don't have any educators here,
У нас
but
здесь в
we have
Вашингтоне
educators
нет
throughout the
специалистов по образованию.
country.
Они у нас
And
по
one of the
различным по
certifications
стране.
that we have
И
is
один из сертификатов, который у нас
Certified
имеется,
Hospitality Educator.
есть как раз
Is that the designation?
сертификат
So they have to be certified and have the designation in order to teach.
педагога по вопросам индустрии гостеприимства.
Any other questions?
Другие вопросы есть?
Да. Позвольте спросить. Ваша ассоциация является членом Всемирной ассоциации гостиниц и ресторанов?
And are you a member or are you affiliated with the World Association of Hotels and Lodging?
What does it stand for?
Всемирная ассоциация гостиниц, да? The International Hotel Association.
Are you talking about International Hotel and Restaurant
И
Association
ресторанов, да?
located in
Которые
Paris,
находятся
right?
в Париже, штаб-квартира.
Okay. Yes and no.
И да, нет.
We were a member
Мы были
until last year.
членом этой
And
ассоциации до
actually, I was
последнего
a
года.
finance advisor
И я
for the
была финансовым
association
консультантом в
because
этой
they were going through
ассоциации,
some
потому что
difficult times
они
and they need
проходили
our
через
help.
серьезные проблемы и
But as
нуждались в
of
нашей поддержке.
now, we have
А
resigned our
теперь
membership.
мы закрыли наш
It's one
информационный
of those
центр.
programs used to be
Это одна из
located
программ,
here,
которая раньше
but then
находилась
we
здесь.
moved that program to
Теперь мы
University of Houston.
переехали в
If you look
университет
at our
города
website,
Хьюстон.
there's a
Если
contact
вы посмотрите
information,
на
and
интернет-сайт, там
we
есть
do
список
have
той
a library
литературы,
of
которая у нас имеется.
information there.
У нас там есть
We also
целая
have a number of
библиотека.
Ladies and gentlemen, the name used to be Orakovsky. My people are from Odessa, Russia. We came in 1902 to the United States. So we're delighted to have you.
Советский Союз
And
был.
this morning, 3 of us will be giving the presentation.
Сегодня я и двое моих коллег сделаем презентацию.
I'm going to start off today, and I'm going to explain to you about the Ritz Carlton culture. You all have this plastic card. Everything we do at Ritz Carlton is based on this culture piece. All of the business decisions, everything to do with revenue, with profit, with people starts here. So I'm going to explain the components for about half an hour. My colleague, John Timmerman, is then going to come. He's the Vice President, Quality and Product Management. You have mistakes, rework, and flawed systems in your business. And then Shelley Perkins, the Regional Vice President, Human Resources International, will come to close and take your questions. Shelley has been on the opening team of the hotel in Moscow, and she's very knowledgeable about why we went into the Russian market, why we wanted a hotel in Moscow. She's living it daily, so I think we've given you a really balanced approach. My role within Ritz-Carlton, I have a dual role. We've changed about 1 or 2 words in this since we were founded in 1983. The back of the card are our service values. Now these are like the medicine of a religion. These are like the science of a religion because we change it periodically to stay relevant with what the customer is asking. The last change was July 3rd of 2006, and I'm going to go through all the components separately. This culture is a golden thread that weaves our company together. We have a mandatory meeting every day around the world in the hotels 3 times a day, here from 9:05 a.m. till 9:20, where we engage in our culture. Every day we talk about this. Many people have what you see on the walls, which are just posters of this, but the employees don't live it because they only talk about their culture once a quarter when the P&L, the numbers are going south, or they've had a horrible guest complaint. I want to start with our credo. The credo is our promise to our guests. This is what our guests should experience, whether they're in Moscow, they're in Hong Kong, or they're in Washington, D.C. And it's full of really powerful language. The Ritz Carlton Hotel is a place where the genuine care and comfort of our guests is our highest mission. We're not confused. We know that if there's a guest problem, an operational problem, or a financial one, the guest problem comes first. And our leadership makes sure that we know that. They're not sending mixed messages. We pledge to provide the finest personal service and facilities for our guests who will always enjoy a warm, relaxed, yet refined ambiance. And finally, the Ritz-Carlton experience enlivens the senses, instills well-being, and fulfills even the unexpressed wishes and needs of our guests. This is very, very powerful language all through this, okay? Always. We're not saying we're going to give you good service if we're feeling well, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It's always, and it's consistent. We pledge. A pledge is very strong. It's a vow. It's a commitment. When you pledge something, you will do it. The most important thing about the credo is this, the unexpressed wishes of our guests. It is very easy to give great service when the guest asks for it. Let's say Mr. Lee checks into the hotel. He's frantic because he has a speech in an hour, and he's torn his jacket on the plane. If he calls me up and says, Diana, I'm frantic, do you have a seamstress here? Can you help me? And we go right up and sew his jacket, that's nice, but it was easy. He told me exactly what was necessary. What's much more exciting is this. When our ladies and gentlemen have their radar on and their antenna up, and they are just people on the planet. Most of them are very lovely, very courteous, but a few feel that with money you can be very rude and very abusive. So this is an equalizer, and it says to the customers, we are service professionals. We're proud to be service professionals, but we're not slaves, we're not servants. And the great news about the motto is this is not just for how we treat our customers, it's internal. It's how we treat each other as well. We are a very, very respectful company of our customers and each other because we know that if we love our employees to death, they're going to turn around and love that customer. If an employer has taken care of their employees' emotional needs, that employee is not going to hang around the water cooler saying, I don't like Ritz-Carlton, I don't like my manager, I hate my life. they're going to say, I love to work here, my mind is clear, I can give great service. You will find that many of our business practices are very simple. But you've heard the expression, the devil is in the details. How do we execute consistently all the time? We have something called the 3 steps of service. It's amazingly basic, but most companies don't get all 3 steps. What is it? A warm and sincere greeting. Use the guest's name. 40% of people on Earth are named after a relative or a religious person, or Moscow, or Tokyo, the 3 steps of service, and they know what that is. We are very familiar with everything I'm telling you because we're like the Catholic nuns. We repeat it over and over and over. That came later. The employee promise is a promise that the Ritz Carlton makes to the employee on day 1 of employment. And it's saying at the Ritz Carlton, the employees are the most important resource in our service commitment. By applying the principles of trust, honesty, respect, integrity, and commitment, we nurture and maximize talent to the benefit of each individual and the company. The Ritz-Carlton fosters a work environment where diversity is valued, quality of life is enhanced, individual aspirations are fulfilled, and the Ritz-Carlton mystique is strengthened. What's unusual about this is that it's normally employees making the promises to the company, not the other way around. This has created tremendous loyalty and engagement from our employees. And then we have on the other side of the card, we have the service values. And we do think of the service values like a science. Every few years, they're updated. And we had been hearing from our customers that we were becoming too stiff and formal. They loved our hotels, they loved our service. And the reason was, 10 years ago, the average age of the customer was 59. Today it's 47. This is how they used to look 10 years ago. This is how they look today. Nobody wants to go to a restaurant, at least not in the United States, where dinner takes 3 hours and the server has white gloves on, and gentlemen, you have to have the tie, and ladies, be totally glorious with sequins. The days are gone. We used to have 20 basics, and they used to be very prescriptive. We said things like, you have to say, my pleasure. You have to escort every guest. We've changed our approach. We're now saying to the ladies and gentlemen, all we want are happy guests. We don't care how you get there, as long as it's moral, ethical, and
С помощью
legal.
каких методов вы это добиваетесь, при условии, что это морально и юридически правильно.
We trust you, employees, to make the right call.
Надежду и доверие наших сотрудников, предоставляем
What
им
would this look like in the real world?
Как это выглядит в жизни?
Small role play. We're at the hotel.
Мы находимся
We're talking about the room service server.
и говорим о сфере
Room
услуг
server goes to the room, knock, knock, knock.
или об услугах о сервисе, которые оказываются.
A gentleman opens the door. The man is about 75,
Открывается дверь человеку, мы видим все эти.
very nicely dressed, and he says to the server, "Good morning, young man. How are you today?"
Как вы себя сегодня чувствуете?
That's the clue to my employee that they can be a little less formal.
Тем таким образом получается.
I'm sorry, more formal. Okay, more conservative and more
Что
formal.
в данном случае надо себя вести более официально, более консервативно. что ли.
Now he goes to the next room.
Хорошо.
Good
Входит он в
morning.
другую комнату.
And out comes a young man
Выходит молодой человек.
who's a music rocker with purple hair and
Фиолетовый
ripped jeans and says to the server, "Hey dude, how you doing?"
Роковый звучит и говорит: "Привет, чувак, как дела?"
You can relax it a bit.
То есть можно чуть-чуть, можно так сказать, свои.
But again, you need to have your eyes open and your ears open.
Надо
What is the
смотреть
customer
открытыми
saying to
глазами
you?
и слушать всю эту ситуацию, что вам хотят.
So with these that we're calling the sixth diamond, it doesn't exist yet, but we want to create it.
Он еще не существует, мы только надеемся его создать.
And these service values are divided up into 3 buckets.
На 3 больших категории.
Functional, okay?
Функциональные.
Numbers 12, 11, and
С
10.
10 по 12
It's about cleanliness, safety, and security.
речь идет о соблюдении.
Nobody goes to a hotel, any hotel,
Поступает
and says, "Wow,
и не говорит:
I'm going to go to the hotel and the sheets are going to be clean and I'm not going to be attacked."
я приезжаю в эту гостиницу, и там будет чисто и прибрано, меня никто не находит.
This only becomes a problem if it's not there.
Только в том случае, если вы приезжаете, и это не так.
You must do the
Вы
basics
должны
extraordinarily well. We'll go back one?
No. No.
No? Okay. So once we've gone through the functional, okay, 12, 11, 10, there are emotional engagement values around involvement, learning and growing, teamwork and lateral service, getting problems resolved, and innovation. But where we really want to get to is the mystique. Another word for mystique is wow factor. And it's numbers 3, 2, and 1. Creating unique, memorable, and personal experiences, fulfilling expressed and unexpressed wishes and needs, and building lifetime guest relationships. And I'm going to go through each one of these separately. In the planning of the work that affects me, we want the participation of employees because that provides buy-in. I take pride in my professional appearance, language, and behavior. We're very strict. We can wear color, but the nails have got to be very short. They tell us where the bangs need to be cut. No hanging earrings, okay? No gold, and no strong perfume. Because your customers judge you in 7 seconds, and you're representing a business. Then 11, I protect the privacy and security of our guests, my fellow employees, the employees' confidential information and assets. There's a lot of people doing bad things today, getting into computers, taking documents that don't belong to them. You've got to keep your eyes open and protect this. And then I'm responsible for compromising levels of cleanliness and creating a safe and accident-free environment. We don't say that cleanliness is the job of housekeeping. It's everybody's job. If we spill something, we pick it up. But the reality is, customers are judging how clean your company is. And if it's dirty, they're then thinking to themselves, are the people inside the building competent? Nobody starts work at the Ritz Carlton without first going to 2 days of orientation. And we covered this in 2 days. I gave it to you in half an hour.
Все эти моменты за 2 дня. Я вам дала всю информацию в сжатом виде за полчаса.
Also, there are questions in our annual employee survey that directly are driven from this. And we do a recertification with updates at least once a year. But remember, every day we're doing it in this 15-minute meeting that goes on in every hotel.
Хотела спросить. Later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Диана, вот эта фигурка льва, это символ вашей сети, имеет какое-то содержание?
And this mascot is a lion, I think.
Yes.
Does it have something to do with your chain, or it has a particular meaning?
It does. It came from two different historical things. Ritz, Tory, and it's a non-negotiable. The culture is so embedded that we would never risk the brand. Remember, even if you are not directly serving a guest, you're serving somebody that is.
Можно спросить? Проходят ли работники probation период, и если, допустим, человек не прошел этот период, он возмещает затраты, потраченные на его тренинги, на обучение?
And do people go through a trial period?
Yes.
And if yes, and for some reason they don't make it, do they have to reimburse you for the investment that you had made
No.
during orientation and training?
No.
Нет.
You have 60 days.
У нас
Everybody's on probation, and you also can say Ritz Carlton's not for me.
нанятие на работу.
So, and that's very standard
И это весьма
in the
стандартно
hotel
для
world.
всей
But there's no
гостиничной
reimbursement,
индустрии.
even if we
Но
say
они не
goodbye,
восполняют наши
you
затраты.
don't have to pay anything
А
back.
зарплата
Даже
в
если мы что-то
течение
и покупаем.
трил-периода, она меньше, чем для обычных работников, прошедших этот
And during
период?
the trial period, do they draw entry-level salary or full salary?
Full.
Нет, полную
Yeah.
зарплату получают.
Thank you.
We have a very rigorous
У
selection
нас
process,
очень жесткий фильтр стоит на этом.
which Shelley is going to
И
touch
Шелли об
upon.
этом расскажет
And
более
we do a
подробно.
pretty good
Но мы
job of
очень
selecting.
хорошо и четко выбираем людей.
I'm just going to find
Я
my
сейчас
colleague
пойду.
John, because I don't want to eat into
Would you humor
his...
us for one more
Yes,
question?
yes, I'll
The
be-
last one,
of course.
пожалуйста.
У меня он будет достаточно большой, поэтому, может быть, правильно переводить как прелюдии, что называется, чтобы было понятно.
Вы знаете, да, что люди не совсем иногда понимают синхрон. Are you comfortable with simultaneous interpretation?
Sure.
Okay.
Ага. У меня просто как бы обращение за советом.
This is basically a request for advice.
Надеюсь, что это не будет вопрос расценен как конкурентный, как
That you do not
работать в
consider
разных
it a
сегментах.
competition, selling secrets or something like that.
Российское гостеприимство на сегодняшний момент переживает как бы свое столько становление.
Russian hospitality right now is really чего? Столько становления?
Становление, только развивается.
It's basically going through its embryonic state.
Yes.
И еще далеко не во всех отелях существуют какие-либо стандарты, и тем более такие вот продвинутые, как Ritz Carlton.
And unified standards are not ubiquitous, and they are definitely not as evolved as yours.
Right.
И каково ваше мнение, стоит ли сразу же внедрять или разрабатывать такого уровня стандарты, которые позволяют людям, да, в зависимости от их позиции, думать и принимать решения самостоятельно, либо предварительно должен пройти этап, когда вот прописано так, что ты должен это. То есть сначала провести через это, а потом учить думать.
Do you think it makes sense to empower people from the start? To tell them that you can actually make a decision and we would trust you and stand behind it? Or do you need to first have very rigorous framework and guidelines so that people have to follow them initially at least?
I think the following. I think you should
Мне
empower
кажется,
people.
нужно, конечно, предоставлять какие-то полномочия людям
You don't just
и
say,
свободу действий, но не
go
говорить
do
им,
it.
хорошо, идите и делайте.
You need
Поэтому
both. You
система,
need
очень
the
жесткая
very
система тоже нужна.
rigorous
И то, и
guidelines.
другое
You need to do the
необходимо. С одной
training,
стороны, нужно
but then you
предоставить
say,
систему, во-вторых,
I've given you the
провести четкую
training,
подготовку, после
you've
этого
got the
говорить, теперь
guidelines,
у вас
I trust you.
знания и навыки есть, теперь я вам доверяю.
Существует какая-то обратная связь от гостей, которая позволяет форматировать стандарты, которые они принимают? То
And
есть,
is
как часто
there,
они рассматриваются?
is there a feedback from your guests that allow you to revisit your standards, maybe update them?
Oh, constantly.
Постоянно
Not
идет обратная
constantly.
связь.
Don't.
Не то, что постоянно.
Yearly, every 2 years.
Скажем так, каждые 2 года они меняются.
Thank you. The most important thing you can do
Самое
is
важное, что
listen
можно
to your
сделать,
customer,
это слушать
because they're giving you
вашего
all the information you need.
Потому что они дают вам всю необходимую информацию.
I'm just going to see if John
Теперь
is
я
there.
пойду,
If
найду
not, I
Джона,
could
если
talk
его
to you all
нет,
day,
я
so there's no
вернусь и могу
problem.
с вами беседовать хоть весь день. Это не проблема. Можете быть мне.
Okay, great. And just as long as they know it's for themselves,
Но
not for
они
publication.
знают, что вы знаете,
Okay,
да, что
thank you.
публиковать нельзя, потому что информация патентованная.
It's
Это
a
чисто для
pleasure to
вас
introduce my
использовать.
colleague,
Хорошо, теперь
John
с огромным...
Good morning.
Доброе утро.
My name is John Zimmerman. I'm the
Меня
Vice
зовут Джон
President
Цимберман, я вице-президент
of Quality and Program
по
Management.
качеству и планированию.
Talking at this pace, all right?
Я говорю нормально, с нормальной скоростью, да. Yes.
Yes. All right. Diana talked about the service
Таяна
values.
говорила о ценности
There's a
обслуживания.
significant amount of research that went into the development of the service
исследование,
values.
которое необходимо до того, как мы выработаем наши ценности и принципы.
Using statistical
Используя
analysis,
статистический анализ,
methods of correlation and regression
корреляции
analysis,
и регрессии.
we've identified that our
Мы
customer
выявили тот
experience
факт, что пребывание
is
гостей
explained by 2/3 emotion
можно на 2/3
and 1/3 function.
объяснить эмоциональной приверженностью и на 1/3 функциональностью.
And here's an illustration
Вот,
of what I'm
пожалуйста,
speaking about.
иллюстрация того, о чем я говорю.
The functional components,
Функциональный компонент
hotel
состоит
cleanliness,
из, например, чистоты,
giving you the correct room,
чистоты
on time,
гостиницы,
food delivered hot,
показа комнаты, доставки,
when meant to be hot and on
еды,
time are all
например,
functional parts of the guest
других
experience.
функциональных моментов пребывания гостя в гостинице.
And they're important. However, the
Однако
emotions explain
эмоциональный аспект
the most significant part of the
объясняет
guest's
значительную
overall
часть
experience,
пребывания и
and then
качества
certainly
пребывания
their
гостя. И, конечно
purchase
же,
patterns.
их решение о будущих покупках и будущем клиенте.
So we talked about the 12 service values.
Ну, теперь скажу немного об этом принципе.
One of the things that we do to align employees to the service values is bring them together before they start work. And the Credo card that you have is reviewed during the first 2 days of the new employee hire process. And what makes that very significant, and Diana spoke to this, is that it's the leaders of the hotel that personally communicate the value system. By that I mean it develops financial projections. We try to identify how much inventory hotel rooms are going to be introduced into the market, predict growth. But it differs to the point that we also identify psychographics, not just existing but future customers. A good example of that is in the mid-1990s, doing this long-range futuristic identification of customer needs. Through qualitative research, we saw that our customers were telling us that they wanted to have better access. They wanted to come and go as they pleased. And it could look like we needed to give them key card access or kiosks instead of a traditional front desk. But when we got underneath their spoken words, we found that they wanted their own Ritz-Carlton. And what you see today, that's part of that research, Ritz-Carlton residents. You can buy a Ritz-Carlton pyramid. What do we need to do in 2007 to support that long-range plan? And then what are the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats to achieve those success factors? Our SWOT process is, again, different than other companies. We involve every one of our employees in the SWOT process. And we do that by...
Excuse me, could you spell out SWOT once again?
It's, strengths.
Да. Плюсы или преимущества. Все знают, да, что такое SWOT? Да. Thank you.
Okay. Weakness, opportunities, and threats. So once we have our strategic direction, we involve every one of our employees, accountants, housekeepers, stewards, salespeople, to give feedback on the strategy through the SWOT process. And we do that because it's our finding that about 90% of your competitive intelligence you find within inside the company. So every one of our employees is involved in the strategic planning process. The feedback from the individual employees gets fed up to corporate roll-up. Then we take the priorities and we translate them into metrics, performance targets. In addition to these 3 high-level priorities per hotel, each leader has 3 to 5 individual priorities for improvement. Food and beverage, but we also customize their experience. If you look at my Mystique profile, it would say a couple things. One of the things it would say is, I like light beer, and I like peanuts. Medical condition. And even though feather pillows certainly cost more than foam, if you're allergic to feather, we would put that in the database, and when you check in without having to ask, we would have a foam pillow there for you. Or a backboard, if that's a medical need. Or if you like Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, we would give you Coke versus Pepsi to customize the experience. We talked about 2/3 of the customer experience is determined by emotions. And therefore, for us to measure the experience, we have to be able to quantify emotions. Simon Cooper, our president, has a saying, when it comes to customers, feelings are facts. When it comes to customers, feelings, how people feel, are facts. We use a set of questions from the Gallup organization to be able to measure customer feelings. Questions like, Ritz-Carlton always treats me with respect. Ritz-Carlton delivers on its promises. Ritz-Carlton is a perfect hotel for people like me. And the ultimate question, I can't imagine a world without Ritz-Carlton. We kind of laughed at that question when we first heard it. We thought, who would answer that question? can't imagine a world without Ritz-Carlton.
То есть нет мира без Ritz-Carlton, что за вопрос?
But it's a question like that that discriminates someone that is emotionally connected to your product, your company, versus those that just like it,
А те, которые это просто
or maybe being held hostage by contracts, agreements, or access.
заложником определенного контракта, который заключила компания.
Talked about how our employees need to be able to treat a customer like they see themselves.
Должны относиться к клиентам так, как они
There's some
себе этого
critical ingredients that are necessary in order to do that.
Есть несколько ингредиентов для того, чтобы перед собой выбор.
Give you an example of what I mean.
Я приведу пример.
We've got a group A and a group B.
Группа А и группа Б.
Group A
Группа А
is reading 90 words per minute.
читает 90
This
слов
group
в
of
минуту.
people,
Вот эта группа
they read 90 words a minute.
читает 90 со
Group
скоростью
B,
90 слов
much
в минуту.
faster.
Группа Б гораздо
They're reading
быстрее.
225 words per minute.
25 слов в минуту.
We give each group
Каждой группе
1 week of training
мы
to
проводим
improve their
и
reading
предлагаем
speed.
однонедельную учебу для того, чтобы они повысили скорость.
Which group do you think improved the most, A or B? How do you say A in Russian?
Показывает
A.
более хороший успех.
Hey, that's easy.
А или Б?
And B? Which group do you think improved the most?
А или Б? Эй.
It's counterintuitive.
На самом деле это
Counterintuitive.
противоречит здравому смыслу.
Group A went from 90 words per minute to 135. Group B went from 225, and this is not a typo, this is correct, to over 2,000 words per
До
minute.
2000 слов в минуту.
Why?
Почему?
Because Group B had more of a natural talent for reading than Group A.
Уже есть естественный природный талант чтения.
And for our service delivery, we need ladies every Monday and Friday. All our employees get together, every department,
Наши сотрудники все собираются.
every hotel around the world.
В любой стране.
And this will happen when we open up Moscow.
Это, кстати,
We're very
будет,
proud of.
когда мы
The employees at the Ritz-Carlton Moscow will come together
То есть сотрудники
every Monday and Friday, and they will read a story about an employee
будут собираться вместе для того, чтобы прочитать
that did something exceptional for a customer,
вслух,
to
что
create that benchmark in the
одно из
organization.
коллег,
and to
который
communicate
сделал
that
что-то
benchmark.
исключительное. И вот это исключительное становится потом примером для всех.
We also have lightning strikes.
Кроме того,
It may or may not happen.
у нас есть
Our managers have discretionary funds in their budget,
менеджер, у них есть специальные деньги.
and if they see an employee do something
Видят, что кто-то из их сотрудников
that's aligned and supports our values,
делает что-то исключительное, что
I can give you $25, $50, $100, whatever I think is appropriate to say thank you.
$100.
It may or may not happen. Discretionary way, immediate recognition and reward.
То есть непосредственное вознаграждение. Тут же.
Another thing that we do, which is very powerful,
Еще одна важная
they're,
цель.
they're cards
Есть карта,
about
вот
this big.
такого размера.
They say first class, which means great job.
Написано, первый класс имеется в виду.
And anytime we see somebody do something great, we recognize it.
Сделал что-то выдающееся.
A lot of activity in reinforcing positive behaviors in the organization.
Позитивное подкрепление, положительное поведение.
Sometimes companies spend a lot of time trying to
Часто компания
measure and reprimand bad behaviors.
для того, чтобы
Needs to be done.
измерять
We spend more time
отрицательное поведение,
recognizing
больше
positive
времени
behaviors
для того, чтобы
in our company.
отмечать позитивное поведение наших сотрудников.
I shared with you a survey
Я уже рассказывал.
that measures customers' emotions. We also have a survey that measures employee emotions. This is a survey also developed by the Gallup organization. The Gallup organization invested over $2 million in research and development to develop these questions, to validate and test them. When we ask an employee, are they satisfied, are they engaged, we look at 4 different dimensions. What do I get? Do I have the equipment that I need, the training required to do the job? What do I give? What's my contribution to the organization beyond the work that I do? Kind of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Do I belong? Have a best friend at work? We kind of laughed at that question too. One executive said, does that mean I need to go get a best friend? It's an important question because when you compare top performing employees versus contrast low performing, the thing that separates those two groups are these questions. Top performing employees feel like they have a best friend at work. How do you get a best friend? There's a book called First Break All the Rules, which is a summary of 30 years of employee research. And one of the authors, Kurt Kaufman of the book, would say this when someone asks, how do you get a best friend? He would say, how do you get a mouse? Like a little furry mouse?
Say it again. That I didn't catch.
Которая у вас поселилась.
Getting a best friend at work is like catching a mouse.
Это то же самое, что поймать мышку маленькую. Знаете, такие маленькие пушистые животные.
У вас
У вас уже лучше.
в номере.
Уже поймали.
One of us had a mouse in their room. Does that mean they have a friend in the hotel? То есть лучший друг у вас уже есть.
But what Kurt would say is, if you want to make a mouse,
Такой ответ.
or you want to make a friend, to make a mouse, you take some old rags, dirty old rags,
Завести такую.
you take some cheese, dried up cheese, crumpled up,
Какой-то
you
старенький
put it
стиль.
together, you take it in the basement corner of your house,
Найти
you
место
put it in
в
the
подвальчике
corner,
у себя, положить
and in a couple weeks you got a mouse.
в углу, и через пару недель у вас будет мышь.
So the question
То есть вопрос
is not just about having a best friend, but it's about the
просто
environments
лучшем друге, но
that you work in.
условиях, в которых вы работаете.
Another question,
Еще один вопрос.
receive recognition or praise, and that's asked within 7 days.
Ваши, так сказать, вашу работу оценивать
7 days is very important
ваши услуги.
because when the researchers examined top performing employees, they found that those employees received recognition not within a month, not within 2 weeks, but within 1 week, within 7 days. Therefore, it's a question that we use to measure top performing employees.
Вот эти 7 дней были решающими. Этим отличаются хорошим
Okay. Managing quality. We have a character we call Mr. Biv.
Вот это мистер Бигgs.
We don't have quality control departments in our hotels.
Отделы, которые за качество.
We rely upon our employees
Полагаемся на
to
своих
measure quality.
сотрудников с тем, чтобы они сами это качество измерили.
And so it's our employees that report defects
Наши люди
in the
сами
delivery of products and services, along with that of our customers.
находят, они сообщают о дефектах, особенно с тем, кто есть.
And when you ask employees to report defects,
И когда
what can happen is they don't know what they're doing,
иногда бывает так, что
they're
они
not
не
properly
знают,
trained,
кто что делает.
they
Кто-то
start to
делает не так,
indict
как
other areas.
и они начинают обвинять
That happened to us.
друг друга. Такое у нас и произошло.
So we created this cartoon character called Mr.
Мы
Biz,
создали вот этот
where we ask our employees,
и сказали
to report
всем нашим сотрудникам,
where have you seen Mr. Biv? And Mr. Biv stands for mistakes,
сообщайте, когда вы видели вот этого господина. Он означает ошибки.
rework,
То есть он означает ошибки,
breakdowns, and for hotels, most of our breakdowns,
поломки,
our communication breakdowns,
как правило,
inefficiency,
эти дефекты связаны
and
с
variation.
отношением, общением друг с другом.
The employees say, I saw Mr. Biv, it was a small one, or I saw Mr. Biv, it was a
Наши
big one.
сотрудники говорят, я
where I've seen this Mr. Bib happen again and again and again. It takes the stigma, the finger pointing, out of reporting defects within a work system. And we use a 6-step improvement process to resolve those Mr. Bibs. Very similar.
В вашей компании.
What's the turnover rate in your company? If there's any turnover?
Turnover rate, let me give you history. Before we use scientific tools to profile employees, measuring empathy, customer service, we were over 50%.
Over 50?
Over 50%. And it's been over a decade now. We maintain a 20% turnover. So we see a certain percent of turnover as healthy. But the benchmarks for that, hotel company hospitality turnover is anywhere from 100 to 150%. And for luxury hotels, it averages around 70%. And we're at 20%.
Translate this. Иначе говоря, вообще по индустрии приняты другие стандарты. Допустим, если это обычная гостиница, то там такая текучесть будет 100-150%. Что касается отдела роскошных, так сказать, или отелей типа люкс, она может быть 70%. То есть вот мы себя с чем сравниваем.
А можно уточнить, наибольшая, естественно, текучесть и ротация кадров идет в звене низовом, так скажем, горничные.
Let me just specify, at which tier does the turnover mostly occur? Would you say it's at the room service, basically technical personnel, people who clean the rooms, etc.?
It's fairly well spread. There's not one area that's greater, significantly greater than another.
У нас вряд ли есть какой-то ярус, откуда больше текучесть происходит в наших страхах.
And retaining talented employees is always going to be a core competency of us, because we don't just compete against other hotel companies, we compete against other industries. So, for example, we opened up Ritz Carlton, Beijing Financial District. We have financial companies that are coming after employees. Because
in developing the project of the hotel in Moscow, we were very much involved. We've opened many hotels in the world and always start working with our partners from the beginning. Of the key parameters is the size of the rooms. The hotel in Moscow will offer 334 rooms, starting from 42 square meters. There will also be larger rooms with 56 square meters, and the presidential suite will measure 240 square. Then, and the boomers are the people sort of late 30s to 60s. Then you've got the Xers, 32s, and then Y. So as long as you're competent, no cutoff.
At which pool do you select a top manager for a new hotel?
Interesting, great question. It's extremely competitive. And everybody in the hotel business knows everybody. So we actually have brought in people from other industries. But we use executive search firms.
Поиска директоров и менеджеров.
And we try very hard for the top role, the general manager role. We want to hire from within, because that person comes with the history and the culture.
навыки.
Now we'll surround that top
Но мы
person
окружаем вот
with,
этого
with
главного
like a director
человека,
of sales and
например,
marketing
директора
that
отдела
could come from
продаж и
somewhere else,
маркетинга,
or a
который
director of
представляет
finance
регион,
from
или
somewhere else.
директор
But there has to
финансового
be a
отдела
balance
откуда-то еще.
from
Мы должны
within
достичь
and from the
баланса
exterior.
внешних и внутренних кадров.
Но если человек также привлекается в другой отрасли, из другой сети, какой проходит он обучение, наверное, тут, ну, ориентацию, которая имеет там город, да?
Если топ-менеджер все-таки привлекается из другой.
Да, или из другой отрасли даже, да, вот как они говорят.
If you have an exceptional case
Yes.
and you hire a top manager from the outside,
Yes.
what kind of orientation and
Great question.
embedding sort of
Onboarding,
marination of the values does he go through?
It is really rigorous.
Но на самом
If we
деле
bring
очень
someone
и
in, for
очень
anybody, whether you're
глубокий
from inside or outside,
процесс, вне
you
зависимости от того,
go to
человек
school
является внутренним
here
или внутренним.
for 10
Или
days.
здесь
Either
вы
way.
получили специальное обучение в течение 10
But if you are from the
дней.
outside,
Если же
you
вы
go
человеком
to
внешним
a general
являетесь,
manager's
то вы
hotel for a
проходите
month
через
to work with that
месячное
general
обучение,
manager before you start
работая
at your own
с
hotel.
другим генеральным менеджером до того, как вы начнете работать самостоятельно.
And there are lots of checklists.
In some other hotel that is
Correct.
exemplary, да,
We
в
will
каком-нибудь образцовом
We'll choose a
отеле.
general
Мы
manager
выбираем какого-то генерального менеджера, который может выступить в роли as a mentor,
that say, yeah,
в
and
роли
say is
наставника.
close geographically.
Скажем, географически он близок к вам.
Exactly. And the culture's a
И
little
культура
similar.
похожа.
And they'll work together.
И они вместе работают в течение месяца.
Mr. Lee, you'll have to let us know about the time.
Городской
The staffing is quite different than if
то
it's a resort.
нанятие на
And they're
работу
golfing
отличается
and they're
от
doing
системы
tennis and
подхода
all
к
of
этому
that.
вопросу,
So
если гостиница является
you
курортной.
still need a
В
person
другом
though,
случае
human,
нужен
to check
человек,
the numbers that are
который
coming out.
проверит рекомендации и примет решение.
А процент загрузки годовой сколько?
And what is your annual occupancy percentage?
Globally,
По всему миру
it
или
runs about 72%.
72%?
Как у нас.
Same.
Thank you.
Да, у меня вопрос. А нельзя ли рассказать о структуре подготовки персонала? То есть вы находитесь в квартире, так понимаю, где применяются налоги?
Но это минимальная